Guys, it's your girl Aaron Midisimbahon from Section 1B. So in this video, we're going to talk about the book titled Silent Spring by Carson. So Carson was an American biologist well known for her writings on environmental pollutions and a natural history of the sea. So her book Silent Spring, published in 1962, became one of the most influential books in the modern environmental movement and provided the impetus for tighter control of pesticides, including DDT. In Silent Spring book, it has 17 chapters. So what are we waiting for? So let's go into chapter 1. Chapter 1, named A Fable for Tomorrow. A town in America once had a prosperous environment with abundant farmland and bird life. However, a mysterious blight swept through the community, causing mysterious maladies and a shadow of death. So the town was silent, with no sound from birds, hens, or pigs. So the roadside were withered and streams were lifeless. So the imagined tragedy may became a reality we all know. So that's all about the chapter 1. So let's go with the chapter 2, titled The Obligations to Endure. So the author discusses the significant impact of human activities on the environment, particularly the contaminations of air, earth, rivers, and sea with the dangerous materials like strontium-90. So they argue that the real issue is overproductions, not overproductions, and that current pest control methods are insufficient to address insect invasions. So they suggest that understanding animal populations and their relationship to their environment is necessary to promote, balance, and mitigate outbreaks. So in the chapter 3, we have the elixirs of death. So elixirs of death, synthetic pesticides, a product of World War II, pose a global concern due to their potential harm to humans. So they destroy enzymes, block oxidations, and causes malignancy. So the USA productions of synthetic pesticides has increased significantly, with arsenic being a key ingredient. So modern insecticides like DDT and organic phosphorus are more deadly due to their carbon atoms. Chapter 4, the surface waters and underground seas. So water pollution, primarily caused by pesticides, is a major global issue affecting the world's populations due to its heavy load of sea salts. So these populations has led to critical shortage for most of the populations. So the productions of synthetic chemicals since the 1940s has complicated water purifications problems, so increasing the dangers to users. So groundwater contaminations is growing concern affecting surface moving waters. So irrigation water, national wildlife refuges in California and Oregon are being contaminated by pesticide residues, so potentially causing irreparable consequences for western duck hunters and endangered species. 6. Earth green mantle. So earth green mantle plant life, along with the water and soil, is necessary to support animal life. So Carson claims humanity forgets its dependence on plants for survival and act upon plants in ways that they are short-sighted. 7. So named Needles Havoc. So Carson begins developing a border argument in chapter 7, arguing that widespread use of chemical insecticide is a relentless war on life. So 99. That could signal the destructions of civilization. So in a chapter 8, it named No Birds Sing. So No Birds Sing is the 8th chapter of this novel, Silent Spring. Here, Carson donates the symbol of silence that birds functions as enable of the loss of wildlife. So Carsons want to give the public a voice by citing local accounts all over the country of dwindling birds populations after spraying against inbox. Named Rivers of Death. So Carson described the effect of pesticide on river life, specifically the loss of salmon in the Maramike River in New Brunswick in 1953. Young salmon feed on river's insect life. Spraying to save the forest from the budworm result in the death of many salmon, as well as other fish and birds. So in chapter 10, named Indiscriminately from the Skies. So Carson argues that the public attitudes toward poisons has changed, leading to complacency with products marked with skulls and crossbones. So she cited gypsy moth and fire ant campaigns as examples of reckless large-scale treatment, resulting in contaminations of farm products and loss of bees. She argues that the consumers are not properly informed or protected by government regulating agency. So an alternative pest control methods are not pursued. So she also argues that the large-scale chemical spraying fails to eradicate target pests. 11. Beyond the dreams of the Burgess. So beyond the dreams of the Burgess, Carson develops a new extensions of her argument in chapter 11. So positing that humans are exposed to a huge number of chemicals on a daily basis, not simply those associated with agricultural practices. Chapter 12, named the human price. Rather than the threat of disease, humanity now lives with a threat we ourselves have created. Environmental hazards to human health. Carson explained the effects of chemical exposure may be delayed many years, so the result of accumulations over time. So in chapter 13, named Through a Narrow Window. So Carson highlights the significant impact of chemicals on the human body, particularly DDT, which disrupt the energy production cycle and oxidation. So this chemical can also damage genetic informations in cells, leading to chromosomal damage and mutations. She advocates for chemical testing for genetic effects before environmental use. As mitosis, the process of cell division is crucial for species survival. So in chapter 14, name 1 in every 4. Cancer-causing elements have been present in nature since life began, but the introductions of synthetic carcinogens has not allowed the human body to adapt quickly enough. Humans are exposed to chemicals from utero to adulthood, with younger ages resulting in more damaging effects. So the war bag theory suggests radiations or chemical carcinogens interfere with cell energy productions, creating cancer cells. Another theory suggests cancers occurs due to chromosomes mutations. So Carson's argued that the cancer should be addressed through preventions and treatment, with serious efforts devoted to prevention. So in a chapter 15 named Nature Fights Back. So Carson argues that nature fights back against chemical attacks by humans, resulting in resistant strains and weakening nature's defenses against imbalance. So chemical spraying can have unpredictable results, such as increased insect numbers or unknown pests. So he links this imbalance to the massive funding gap between chemical controls and biological ones, with 98% of entomologists' funding going to chemical controls, leaving only 2% for more effective and less dangerous options. Name the rumbles of an avalanche. So Carson argues that the chemical spraying leads to survival of the fittest, with many insects becoming resistant to pesticide, including those of medical or agricultural importance. This phenomenon, already known in the age of mineral pesticides, has been accelerated by DDT and other organic compounds, so particularly in medical insects. So in chapter 17, The Other Road. So Carson suggests two choices for humanity in controlling nature: indiscriminate chemical use, which can lead to disaster, and exploring alternatives like male sterilization, lures, and sounds. So these alternatives respect the delicate balance of life and the web of life, and are healthier for both the environment and humanity. So Carson believes that the use of weapons against insects has turned into a war against the earth. Carson's book presents a choice between using pesticides and avoiding nature harm. She argues that reasonable citizens will recognize the dangers of chemical use and act against it. Carson uses a combination of expert and public voices to support her case. She casts doubt on the opponent's strength and encouraged educated citizens to speak out against uncivil acts, Carson's believed that if we fail to act, nature will take its course, causing unexpected consequences.